So realistically, I'm happy with what I'm seeing. I do, however, agree with Sean, though, that if you're looking at overall compositions, I think KRU are much more within the meta of this map at the moment, at least from what we see from Europe.
Yeah, I think I'm with you 100% on that one. I suppose that means I'm with Sean, too. Just this once. Just this once. Looking at ZETA. Fantastic previous map to play with, and they are certainly getting off to a good start here. Rallying forward towards B long. And of course, it's RIOT alongside Takajay leading that charge. Takajay the first to find the opening, healing himself up to that beautiful 150, but Delzik comes in with a big right click. Solo defender now in the back of sight will fall quite quickly. Luckily, he's got teammates rallying in to help him. A big play needed, some headshots need to be delivered, and so far nothing is found with both players spotted. It's a simple TP play to plant on A. A pretty tough retake for KRU. As look at the position that Makiba's in. He'll just be watching them walk on out. Oh, RIOT's gonna have a fault line. It's coming! Oh!
Awkward battle in history, but they do kind of trade evenly. It's Mazzino left on such low HP. Production, I beg.
Do not, Joey.
I don't want to see that again.
We had this conversation yesterday. I do not want to see a replay of that fault line, and I know it's just about to come. And yep, there we go. I mean, it did what it was supposed to. Technically, just a little bit of a mistake that Makiba ran into it. That was the suboptimal. And it comes back to a point you made earlier, Tom, where sometimes it does seem like the communication on this team is a little bit suboptimal.
It's a bit off. Or either that or it is being called and the other player's deciding to ignore it, which is just as bad. If not worse.
I think, look, the communication is a two-way street, right? It requires speaking and listening, and that's the thing. It doesn't matter which one... Oh, God. It doesn't matter which one is falling behind. All that matters is there is a problem. Look at this from Mazzino. Up close, behind the wall, hoping that they'll push on through, but there's not too much longer left. You can hear it now starting to fade away, and they have guessed that they'll be up close.
Yeah, again, this composition that we see from ZETA is going to rely a lot on the two men we've just had on your screen, RIOT and Takajay. They're going to have to be incredibly aggressive to take over map control, and I think in terms of aggressive takes, we're going to see them push the extremities that little bit more. Hookah maybe a bit tougher to take with the current utility they have available.
I mean, I would love to just watch this whole round from Laz's perspective, because that was one of the nastiest little lurks I've seen for quite a while. He sat outside bat and literally did nothing for a minute straight and walked up behind. You can only imagine how annoyed Nagzit must be in dying to that. 2-0, a little flawless round out there, Tom, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's always nice, especially when it's the bonus round about to come through. You're able to basically go in with everything you had in the previous round, and even having a rifle available and picking up all of those extra ultimate orbs. So Laz, I believe, is only going to be one off actually pulling out his ult, which can be pretty impactful, especially in rounds like this where you're much more likely to be going fast-paced. You can have those seekers, you can follow them in, and you're less likely to be caught out by any of those angles.
Yeah, big chunk of cash as well going to be saved over by ZETA, not needing to reinvest that much after the Prime Gaming flawless that came through in previous rounds. So, as we come into 1 minute 30 left on the clock, starting out this round, ZETA will be a little bit cautious on range duels for most of the players, but with the two Vandals on Takajay and Laz, that's where they want to really do the damage and bridge the gap. RIOT, the first man in, and no one else is really ready to go in with him. That was odd.
Audacious. The word I would use. Risky,
it's a big word.
Maybe a little bit silly.
Those are smaller words.
Yeah. You know, for the simpletons out there, like my man Mitch.
Thank you, Tom. Yeah, that was me hinting. I was like, what? Audacious? What's that? I have no idea what's happening. Nice little flash. Deep down, gonna try to get a little bit of control over Bath. That TP, luckily, gets the flash, gets him out of the TP and around towards his teammates. Of course, the man has the spike for the team of ZETA, and they're looking at the moment towards the B side, but there's a little bit of a stack here from KRU. Oh!
Ooh, okay, Takajay's ready to go. One of the rifles in hand. They're actually going to swing right onto him. Okay, Klaus. He's feeling a little bit confident in that one. A bit of risk taking himself, but he is finding every single kill. It was mentioned by you in the last map. He had a bit of a quieter one, but he is feeling it here. And wow, the last 2 kills almost seemed like they were stolen away. Great work from KRU on their B site hold, and they'll have their first round on the board.
I mean, look, I know my man Hypoc loves to see Klaus popping off. I was definitely not too happy after that previous map, but you can see the comfort that this man has when he goes on to a quasi-duelist of Sky. Like, you talk about when he's playing a Killjoy, he can't make these sort of aggressive play. I mean, that was just ludicrous. He knows he's in the corner and runs at him like a madman. And this is something we did not see from him on the previous map, but we did see in map number 1. We knew that he was capable, and now he's delivering to put the first round on the board for KRU.
Seeing a judge on the attacking side in the hands of RIOT.
Dash into lamps.
Yeah, I think it's the
flash
play.
the Lear, and
oh no!
He's went straight into the box, hasn't he, Tom? Wow, that is not exactly what was intended, but he has managed to get a push. So yeah.
Yeah,
all's well that ends well.
They've lost the Empress. TakeJ is going to be taken down very early on in this fight. Laz is just sat there like, let me in. Let me in. Stuck behind the wall. Nice shot from Crow. We'll keep this one even, at least for a little bit. And they have to be careful on the other side. This duel's so important. It means they can finally take that extra little bit of control.
There we go. Seekers are going to be popped. Pursuing the players, trying to find out exactly where they are! And Dalsik delivers a double! It's all down to Makiba! Makiba and Laz. Laz has been lurking yet again. What a surprise! He's taken down, and Makiba has the 1v3 that we had teed up for him. He'll at least get the spike planted. It's very difficult to get much more than that when there's 3 players on the other side, especially when it's Klaus and Kesnitz on the other side.
Yeah, he's got the nade as well to try and clear him out of position. Even though the first shot is landed, it really doesn't matter too much. And KRU, they're going to bring themselves through another round. And a lot of it, as you sort of mentioned, it came off the back of those Seekers, because Dalsik almost used them, I want to say, as like a bodyguard to try and give him that extra info, but also take a few of the shots.
Yeah, when he swung around that corner, like, look at this. They are perfectly lined up. Barely has to correct his spray to get that second kill. Really, really nice work by KRU. Laz's lurks have been impactful to a certain point, but right in that round, he's just a little bit too far removed from the action, playing so far back in bathroom.
Yeah, for sure. I think especially considering he's the one with a lot of their initiation capabilities, like having those flashes that he can curve around the corners, get them that extra little bit of information. I think also they're just a little bit unlucky that they line up so perfectly, especially considering how well they've done in the round before that. Unfortunately, it doesn't make a difference. The round goes the other way. Beautiful setup. I've seen them do this a few times. It's just fantastic. Having the fault line combination with the grab well. It's such an easy kill for RIOT that he decides to just trade his life away and give them the gun back.
Yeah, well, what a nice guy. What a nice guy. I will say, for ZETA, there are so many warning signs when you see some of the plays that are coming down. In particular, it's RIOT. I mean, that guy is really off the leash right now, trying to play aggressive, and
well, so the first idea was brilliant,
working.
And then
yeah, that was great.
Do something with the gun.
Go
and
back,
not that.
play with the team, but like, I think the intention there was he thought that on the other side the player had ran out of ammunition. He thought that Dalsik was reloading and that he'd be able to sneak out. But is that worth the risk in a round like this? The one opportunity to really have ranged duels now out of their hands, and instead they're going to have to rely on what is mostly going to be a 145 headshot. It's not great.
30 seconds left.
Thought for a moment maybe Laz would have found the timing, but the slow is also going to make this nigh on impossible. 25 seconds for them to try and make their move. Mazzino already manages to take himself one. Now the stun's not going to connect onto anything else. They need TakeJ to basically hold down the fort, and that's exactly what he's doing. The heal actually only leaves his opponent just that little bit healthier. The pistol might be enough to get something done here. He's also got the Rolling Thunder, but the timing works out. It's left all on to TakeJ, and he can't get anything. Nags has closed out the round for KRU, a little bit close for comfort, considering what was happening in the early stages.
No way! No way! What?
Why did I look behind me?
Yeah, I did it too. I just did it again. Hey, I keep doing it. I'm gonna look one more. It's still not there.
Oh, it's
that's
cool.
Amazing. That's so cool, man. I mean, we saw a preview of that, right? One day. I won't say what it was. It's something similar, but that for the round-winning kill.
It's dope.
God damn, you got me smiling. It's like that meme.
Basically,
why you smiling like
production,
that? And then just put that in.
nerds. That's what I've learned over the last few weeks.
I can't even comprehend
nerds.
the technology that allows that to happen. Like, as the camera moves, it calculates
Well,
where
you
it
can
is.
tell
I
that
don't want
by
to
the fact
try.
that we're both idiots and went,
We turned around. Why can't I
there?
see it? Why isn't it actually there? Wow, it's also awesome to turn around and just see the stage, see the players, and they are cyber-focused. They are really tuned in right now at 3-2. If you've just tuned in, it is map number 3, and KRU are trying to push it across the line here on their defensive side. They had an incredibly dominant start to the series, but now everything seems to be up in the air.
Yeah, both teams winning their maps incredibly convincingly. Even if the scoreline on the first map might not show it as much, it really was dominant with an 11-1 half. Now we actually get a proper purchase coming in. So RIOT, I'm expecting to not quite be as aggressive of what we saw with the Judge or the Pistols in the previous round, because he's got his Operator, and he's waiting to see if there's going to be anyone giving him a duel. For now, though, a little bit tentative from the side of KRU, just waiting back, burning down the clock, and actually we're already down to the 45-second mark, and there's been very little ground taken by the attackers.
No one can really take the no one can take the teleporter at this stage. Now that you put a boombot through, they could have snuck up middle and be inside of there, so we know that that option is not really open to either team if they're thinking about it for the most part, but it looks like ZETA don't mind taking a fight. Maybe they've accidentally went through the TP, I'm not entirely sure. Klaus has gone down on the B side, and now there's an opening. The whole team comes along as Laz opens it up even further. The Seekers clearing out towards the spawn. They know they've got the time to get this plant in, and the round has flipped on its head so quickly. Nags even goes down to 20 HP on the TP.
Yeah, 2 players have gone through that teleport now from the defensive side, and it hasn't exactly gone fantastically.
He could have rezzed inside the TP.
Yeah. I think it's one of those rounds where I think they realize that there's very little hope. This crossfire should be all too easy for them to find this kill, and Makiba will do just that. And while Kesnet, he managed to get quite far in, but at this point he doesn't stand a chance. Laz is lurk again. You mentioned on it on the other side of the map in Showers. It's done even more when it comes to this A side, or B side, sorry.
Really smart work there by ZETA. The fact that they keep camping the TP isn't just to get the kill as the player comes through or to deal damage, but if you look at the positions where players died, and in fact you're seeing it here, Laz killed 2 on site, and there was 1 inside the TP. So the reality, or 1 corpse in there. The reality is, you don't want to end up in a position where you are getting the site, you're overrunning B, but then they jump in TP, they pop a res, and now it's a tough, much tougher fight. Instead, they camp it, so even if they don't kill that guy, he knows if I res this player, he will die instantly.
Oh my god, he's just gone straight through! He's just run in!
Body blocked him! That's actually unbelievably unlucky! Because he's on the edge of the smoke, so he can't even see him to try and right-click him to death, and he's just bumping into him.
I think the Tiger stunned him as well, so that he couldn't run away. Like, the Tiger stunned the defender. And they've also actually used so much. They're going to res inside the Aftershock.
They rezzed in an Aftershock while a push came through. The flash was so well timed, and ZETA have just completely overrun them. This is a disaster, Tom. KRU in a 2 versus 4 showstopper. It might be what they need. After not using up the res previously, that one really just threw it into the wind.
They've used 3 ultimates and they've all been complete failures.
Oh,
This is a calamity of a round for KRU, and yeah, sure, they've got themselves another one to try and bring something back. The showstopper may be able to do something for Kesnet, but I think a lot of this is going to come down to Klaus as the rest of ZETA again taking their time, patiently maneuvering their way over to the B site, and now they're making their final push.
Yeah, that showstopper not going to be part of the initial play. Klaus needs a strong hold. He's been spotted and taken down. At this point, what do you even do if you're Kesnet? Drop a nade in there. Why not? Free utility. See if you can deal some damage. In fact, he does, yeah. And he stops the spike being planted a moment, but without finding like a triple kill out of that, he's just going to save.
That was a disaster. Like, every single part of it. Like, I think in that round the plan was that Mazzinho didn't have much, so he goes in, plays around his ult, just uses, I think it was a frenzy.
Yep.
He gets stunned instantly by the Tiger, and then you just have that weird scenario of RIOT just running straight into him. But the problem is, it's not that play. That play in isolation, okay, it goes a bit wrong. It's a 1-for-1 trade. You get rid of a Blade Storm. That's fine. It's the fact that everything else committed also went wrong. The res, that was a weird spot to try and get it done. And also just before that, they used the Orbital Strike to try and like at least slow them down and do some damage, and that also did absolutely nothing. So KRU have used up the majority of their ultimates in this round, and they've lost it convincingly.
Yeah.
Look, so the Tiger hits him, stuns him, and then he runs into him and gets stuck and killed by the player behind.
That is actually ridiculous. And the fact is,
gets out of the dismiss with the dismiss because of the kill.
A little bit of an extra boost. He could have went in TP anyway, so it wouldn't have been that much of a big deal.
Yeah.
Which is like the position of that orbital strike. That was desperation. That was really just a knee-jerk reaction. We're going to have a timeout called here by KRU,
good
and
spot.
I think this is definitely somewhere they want to reassess. I'm sure their coach is going to have input on that. As we said, they invested so much into that round and received a hard loss for their trouble.
Yeah, the only kill they got was base nothing on us.
Yeah.
It was the shot on the play. I almost wonder if RIOT might have peeked out of the smoke a little bit while running into him, and I just get the kill, but it's irrelevant at that stage. So they've committed a lot. That's going to be a hard round to take, and more importantly, it's not even like it was close. Like, ZETA had 4 players alive at the end of it. They have a lot of finances being built up, and this is a spot where realistically KRU need to try and break back because, well, let's just give a little bit of context to this series. This group, I think, is easily the highest contested or the most highly contested group, except maybe Group A, because we have 3 teams we think can get out of it. This group, I think anyone can get out of it. You've already got the guys of Vivo Keyed waiting in that lower bracket match who looked very good against Envy. Then the winner bracket is Envy, who I think we expect to get through. So between those 3 teams, you don't want to be going down to that lower bracket to face off against Vivo Key because there is no guarantee that you're getting back out of it.
Yeah, I think everybody pretty much agreed that it would be Envy that were making it out.
Yeah.
But in the form that they came in with, it's a little bit shaky whether they make it through the upper bracket, let's say. But losing 2 in a row, not all too likely for that squad. Especially, I imagine they're hard at work right now in trying to fix those flaws. And certainly keeping an eye on this game, keeping an eye on their potential opponents.
They've got a lot to look at.
That they do. Plenty of maps, we'll say. Not that many rounds in how things have gone. When it comes to KRU, though, you could see the way their coach was talking to them there. That was a lecture. That was a real, like, guys, listen, we can't be throwing away ultimates. We got to be playing a tighter game than this. And there are just too many gaps being put out there by the defensive side and too much overcommitment. But we see the same from ZETA, and it's like RIOT is the #1 victim of that. This time, he gets shut down, but his teammates are here running into the site, and they're not even expecting it. They're like, oh, RIOT ran in? Yeah, he's probably alone, because that's how it's been so far. Takage gets wrecked on the fade back. Nags is repositioned. Look, he's even as a teammate with him.
One dead.
Oh, Laz is just doing so much work here. The spike has actually gone through the teleporter, but it may not matter too much. The remaining 2 players are already fully committed to this site, and Laz, they're going to try and peek him together. They find that extra kill. This round has fallen apart again. An all-in push down mid, and it's left onto just 1 man. Now the full rotation coming through. KRU at least has a full belt of utility to play with. And on the other side, they've actually still got a boombot they can throw through.
This one's going to be really tough for KRU. That's, okay. Well, they did put the boombot in. Guys, his spawn is clear, just so you know. KRU has a flash to play with here. Let's see if he's going to be able to get anything done. No, he's not. The headshot delivered, and Kesnet still manages to win the round. He couldn't aim a boombot, but he sure as hell can aim a rifle.
Oh, that got me. just highlighting it 2 seconds before and watching it slowly falling back towards spawn. But hey, that's one hell of a way to come back. You can't win a round with nearly all of your ultimates. Well, you can do it with the pistols instead, and I feel like that's a huge mistake coming out of the side of ZETA. Like, you've got Laz still popping off, putting up numbers, finding kills, but everybody else just seemed to get slaughtered by, like, moving back into positions or just overcommitting to a rush. It just looked rough.
They made the right commitment there as well over on the KRU side. They realized that with the plant that was down, likelihood is... I mean, the reality is if you had flashed out on that peak, you would have been in a lot of trouble. Was that a... That was a good flash, wasn't it?
It was a fake flash, of course.
Fake flash. Don't worry.
You know.
Don't worry about it.
We don't want to talk about it.
We don't.
They definitely didn't get stuck in the wall.
I'll say KRU's utility usage, probably not the best in the tournament so far, but they're still putting up a damn good fight. Maybe it'll remedy. I love this angle by Nags. He's trying to catch them as they push over to the right side of the wall. He's now running away, making a lot of steps. I mean, they know that he hasn't jumped out.
They're trying to boost.
Enemy removed.
That was an ambitious attempt, and it's all based on the fact that Nags ran back towards the window. They think he's playing behind box or maybe about to jump up on top. They think they've got good timing, and in fact, he's just waiting for someone to updraft or boost over the top.
He's found the opener nonetheless, and we're seeing a lot of utility committed for Hookah control, but it's just not working out, and it's a little bit too late. They need to put the other 2 pieces of utility in before you go for any sort of flash, because otherwise it's just worthless. Taking the peak off of it anyway before anything goes through. Well, Nags is going to be just giggling about this round. He had a couple of kills based off his solid positioning, baiting out some of the peaks, and well, 20 seconds left. ZETA need a hero. That's it.
Say what you will about ZETA's attack there and the approach to it, but it was punished, and that's where the real skill comes in. I love this! The pull out in the open, but he manages to get away with knife out. 10 seconds left. ZETA need to up the pace. Laz in with a double, but on the backside, Kesnet is still able to drop a player. Time, has he got enough time? It's going to be damn close, and he just about does. No, he doesn't. I thought that was the plant. Oh, God. I saw it just tick past 4 as he started and thought, oh, that's unfortunate. Wow.
5-4. Just about works out for KRU. Again, I appreciate the tempt of the boost, but obviously for Nags, again, this is just the thing. It's so close to being perfect. It's so close, like just half a second, and he's stunned, pulled back in, and Takajé gets the kill. But just those little details is enough that means that it doesn't quite work out for the side of ZETA. And well, now they're coming back in with a purchase once again, 5-4. And there are 3 players ready and waiting for them on this A site. And by the looks of it, they're not stopping.
Oh, the Rolling Thunders pushed Mazzino out of position. He was boosted up on top at the start of the round. The Boombots killed Reyna. He dashed into it on the site. A double kill for Kesnet. One opponent he didn't even see. He didn't even think about. And a showstopper pop that stops the continued push of ZETA. They are now trapped, basically starting around 5v3.
Yeah, some solid counter utility as well from Nags. Like, we talk about his individual skill, but the slows he threw in basically kept his teammates alive because they couldn't quite push through it. Even Kesnet as well with the paint shells, just making sure that they can't do anything off of this ultimate. Again, we talk about this Rolling Thunder just not having the impact that was desired for ZETA, and how they're trying to reposition. The flash, though, is going to give away that they're now making a move towards B.
Klaus is here and ready to play. That flash actually saves the day. That's going to slow them down a little bit more with 30 seconds on the clock. ZETA look to make this push happen. Takajé knows the left corner is clear as he moves on out. The steps are heard. KRU stacked up on site. The spray comes close, but it goes KRU's way every single time. Laz alone in a 1v5 with 10 seconds left and no spike. I mean, do we need to keep on looking at the things that are going against him here? Well, I guess so, because Kesnet takes him down, drops the weapon, and puts a Prime Gaming Flawless into effect for KRU.
Yeah, Kesnet's starting to really come into this series. He definitely had a bit of a poorer performance when it was on Split, which is normally a playground for someone on the Raze, but in these last couple of rounds...
Oh, what can you do?
Yeah, as I said, I love the fact that on the entry, not only did he throw his paint shells in to deny the Rolling Thunder, but we also saw slows coming through from Nags to basically make sure that there was no way they get out onto that site quickly enough to capitalize off of that ultimate. So they're doing really well to basically slow down this team, and that's why we keep seeing 20-second executes at the end of rounds.
Yeah, absolutely. As in those 20 seconds, it comes down to just those duels that seem to be keeping in favor of KRU. The fact that they had a 5v3 certainly helped.
Is this a fake again?
Seekers use, nobody follows, they just get destroyed instantly, and I mean, they broke the wall, I guess. That's about the only positive in here.
Half of it.
Laz just completely... Is he faking now, lurking out, trying to get them to push forward? Well, it hasn't worked, whatever it was. That's an expensive start to the round, and yet again, ZETA find themselves in a 3v5 with a minute on the clock.
It looks like some of these ults are just being popped almost instantly, maybe in an attempt for a small amount of information, but the value just seems lost. Nice work from RIOT though. His peek into the site. They've also got the grab world to deny anybody holding them that little bit further. So an afterplant looking likely, and what was looking like a done round now actually falls into the favor of ZETA.
Well, that is one hell of a start. Oh no, running on site, Nags takes 3! How's he gotten a double kill from there? The res comes into play, and the spray, Makiba not able to get it done. KRU walk away with another round, and Nags is the savior of this one.
These two players are popping off. And they're the ones that we highlight at the beginning of the day that we expect to be the driving force for KRU. But over the last couple of rounds, I think we've seen multiple 3Ks from either Nags or Kesnet in every single one. And this was huge, like just about dodging that fall line gets him 2 kills off the back of it. The timing had to be perfect, because if he gets stunned there, they lose that almost instantly because his teammate was too far away to trade.
And it feels terrible because RIOT so far has had the worst luck. Look at just the previous round. He dashes into a boom bot, for God's sake. And now he goes into sight, he finds double openings, he pulls ZETA right back into the round, and that's how they lose it. A micro timing found by Nags to win out the round. But 7 on the board for KRU, and now looking to push up to 8. ZETA, they'll throw everything they possibly can at this round, but look at what they have to work with. A Blade Storm on RIOT, that's why he's playing with a Spectre, and the rest of the team on Rifles. It's not the worst buy we've ever seen. I mean, this is pretty comfortable, but so far, that hasn't really mattered.
It also looks like they're potentially trying to sell this fake once again. They've taken some deep control in towards bathrooms, wanting to try and hold players on that side of the map, but with the spike control so deep, almost ask the question of whether they're going to go back towards this B side. Takage also being spotted means that KRU are not going to move.
Oh, RIOT at the chance there. He spotted out good old Delzik inside of Hookah. Now they're falling back and playing the 3-man side hold on KRU. Delzik maybe even rotating a little further. You can see they're trying to decide exactly how to do this, and Smoke's down with a rotate in. Is Viper leaving too? No way Mazzino. Okay, yeah, he's just playing back on site. So it's going to be a 2-man hold on B. The Seekers give away the fact that the players are here. And ZETA, they don't push off the back of that. They don't make their move. They delay it. They allow the rotates to come back in. Are they still going to push this? Surely they're going to TP over to A. Now that this, no, they've not got time. They have to go straight into the stack. Laz on RIOT. Deliver the blows. There's another for the Jet of RIOT. They should be able to get this one done, right? Right?
Yeah.
Yes.
They got the kills.
Just
they got the kills.
Just about.
No one went for the plan. It definitely made me have a little bit of a heart attack, but they get the round done. It definitely wasn't clean from either of the sides in this first half, but hey, it's ended at a 7-5. It's not bad for either squad. You know, it can still go either way.
I will say, watching these two teams play gives me immense amounts of anxiety. This is so different to the brand of Valorant that we have in Europe. I think I do. I really think I do.
We got someone standing by.
We definitely do. Now, for the European, for the North American viewers, hell, let's throw the Koreans in as well. We are going to need to learn a thing or two about these teams. Luckily, we've got someone who knows all about them and is willing to teach us.
I like how every time it's like Tom reminding Mitch that, yeah, I'm over here. I'm just a couple steps away from you guys. But either way, let's take a look at one of those rounds again. The attacking side of ZETA, because it feels like every time we are watching that. It feels also like they are more loose. Let's go ahead and start rolling the clip. I think a lot of people are noticing how slow some of these rounds are getting and how down to the wire it is. And I think that's because of the pace or the intensity. Pause it real quick. Actually, if you could bring it back, I'm not sure if you could do that, but either way, you saw the Sky Dog come all the way down the fountain and try to clear out a little bit of it. Go ahead and play. Everybody else is really just waiting for anything happening. You even had somebody playing all the way back outside a bathroom. Another Sky Flash comes in. Now pause it here, because this has been an interaction that's been happening over and over because of this Viper wall that KRU is using across Octagon, across Hookah too, and because of that, we actually have Laz really starting to try to abuse it, because the way that we have over here Kesnet playing with the Sky in front of the Viper wall is he's trying to make sure that he maintains control of this. If they ever lose this area, if they ever lose garden area, he's actually peeking out of elbow, playing very close to the spot over here in the corner with the pallets, and he's not worried about anybody coming through behind it because of the Viper wall. So Laz is going to take advantage of this. Go ahead and roll, And because of that, they actually open up the opportunity to hit this execute on the B site, or on the A site, and come through the teleporter. You see the breach coming in right there. But here it is, where Laz starts the fight, pushes right into it, backs up, pause it, backs up through the smoke and pops the Seekers to push forward. He can find out if there's anybody else on this B site while his team is pushing through. They don't have to worry about this spawn area because they've got a smoke there, so nobody's going to want to push through, especially because everybody had just rotated. I'm going to zoom in on the map really quickly because everybody had just rotated off of this A site because of the execute that was coming down short. So Laz now coming in here with the Seekers applies pressure to anybody who wants to rotate in, but also finds himself the last player in the site. Go ahead and roll the clip from here. Laz on the brim, that's Delzik in the site. Takajay also gets one who tried to come through behind him. This is Delzik reacting to that. And also, pause right here because 14 seconds left. How many times have we seen this now for Zeta Division? KRU actually was able to take advantage for a couple of rounds of that, but the information gathering has been difficult for them. So what is left for them? Really not much. Come over here and look at the abilities. None of their initiators are alive. None of the paint shells or anything really from Kesnet to really get involved in the fight. No slows to try to split people up. And at this point, the round is almost done for. Go ahead and play it. They try to come through the TP. There's a really, really nice crossfire. There's a really, really nice crossfire setup in Hookah as well that is very difficult to deal with. Takajay and Makiba, and there's not much for them to do as he tries to push in. They might try to maybe save a gun, but obviously you see the position all the way up of Kesnet, and they're just calling it at this point. So yeah, we could already go ahead and back out of this, I think, because we have an intense series on our hands. Japan has just won their first map, and they're looking to try to make it too. I think with the defensive side coming up, Mitch, that might give them an opportunity.
It certainly might, and I certainly hope it does. This has been an interesting half of Valorant. We have seen more missed utility than I recall for quite a while, and the pressure clearly starting to apply itself to these players. The question is, which one of these two teams will crack first?
Yeah, that really is the question. I think going into this, Zeta, they want to get off to a strong start once again. Like, they're a little bit further behind, but we know that their defense, at least in the first couple of maps, looked pretty damn strong, even if the attack was the weaker of the two. The Lurk's playing a bit of a part. Laz still doing relatively well, but I'm excited to see their more aggressive style of defense, because it has to be. They don't really have a lot of delaying utility as we see on the other side. The slows available, the long-lasting smokes. It's not something they can necessarily go for. So instead, as you can see, we're going to see some very aggressive takes.
As you would expect with the series we've had so far. Now, Zeta are pushing all the way down mid. So all they have to do is delay as much as they can on this site. And in fact, they will back out, realizing that taking these fights would be suicide, and Takashe gets spotted out. Big play by Klaus, realizing, hey guys, we got this site way too easily. Something's going on. He goes back and checks behind, and that's the opening kill for the side.
But will he expect the second player? Because he's taken down the first. They jump spot it. That's brilliant. Having the right idea and even trading out Rayta 1-for-1, that's absolutely fine, because that was the plan for the round. Zeta are now stuck in the mud. They've got to try and get themselves back in with avenues that definitely aren't favorable.
Nags tries to get the right click out. Oh, the flash doesn't catch Mazzino. He's good for one. Pursuing down further. Laz on low HP doesn't really stand a chance now, and he'll be taken down quickly. 8-5. The lead for KRU extends even further coming into half number 2.
I like how aware KRU were in that round. Like, I don't think the pistol round strategy was anything like to write home about. It was just the fact that once they took the space, as you said, they had the realization that there could be flanks, and they were methodical in all of the angles being cleared. Because even after they get the first play, the fact that they then go looking to make sure that Rayta's not somewhere behind them, that was the turning point of the round. Because the rest of the players on Zeta are going, well, we have an ace up our sleeve. We're waiting for that to come through, and when it doesn't, round done.
And back in the day when we used to play, for example, with a Cypher on this map, back when that was, you know, the way, there was no question about it, you wouldn't be able to make that kind of play. You wouldn't be able to find the site that easily, but here, KRU do, they find a read, and it's all under control. Oh, wow. The fact that he manages to get 3, and again, it's just classics that he's against, so it's not the biggest a deal. This second round, hey, I think we could even call it the Prime Gaming Flawless round, because that's what it should be. If you get anything less than that, you're messing up. And KRU are farming cash, farming ult orbs, And now they get a chance to try a nice, comfortable bonus.
Maybe we need another sponsor for when they screw it up. So it's like you need some sort of like
XYZ,
kitchen roll
you messed it up.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, most of the time, I think Amazon Prime are going to be getting exactly what they needed because
Hopefully.
it should be a flawless round.
Exactly. We want those Prime Gaming flawlesses every single time on the second. This one, on the other hand, there will be a little bit of contention for. Now, ZETA are coming in with rifles. They are stacked up. They are the favorites to take this across the line, and they needed a loss here. Could be the map already waving goodbye, fading into the distance. Makiba, he's taken so much damage from that nade, man. He stood way too close for comfort. They've TP'd. Laz is able to take down Nags, but this is where trouble starts to brew. The pinch out of the teleporter, and what a shot by Takage. I don't even know he meant to get that second kill. He thought he was dismissed out. Mazzino, though, keeps it competitive. A 1v2 that, sure, he loses, but in the end, 3 kills out of a round with Spectres? You'll take that.
Yeah, for sure. That's not a bad round for them at all.
I turned around to see if it was on the stage, I'm going to be honest.
We didn't even leave the map.
I know, I was like, oh, maybe they're teeing it up. I turned around and then realized I'm a moron.
He dismissed so quickly.
Yeah, it was the second, like, that was nuts.
I think he was like, oh, maybe I won't get this kill, so just
yeah, he missed like the first 2 shots. I think he's like, oh no, I better just dismiss. And then he's like, oh, that got him?
Oh, okay.
Sweet.
Dead. Yeah, important round for ZETA, but this is where, again, things turn a little bit into KRU's favor, because they're going to come up with a purchase of their own. Now, we've seen both teams have their struggles, but when you look at the composition that's currently being run by KRU, they have all the utility available to them to clear out a lot of these early spots and find out if there's any aggressive positions.
Yeah, very, very slow round. Look at this. They're just taking the pace down on the KRU side, waiting for ZETA to make a move. And it is, of course, Laz that walks right into their open arms. They were waiting on long with 2 players. Exactly. You get the flash, you think, I'm good, but the second guy comes around the corner, and they're still holding on, tucked away. That's so nasty. Having a player in the corner, playing on closest contact, it's a guaranteed trade, unless it was the Jet, to be, or maybe a Rain or something like that, to be able to dismiss out of there.
Yeah, I think at the moment we're witnessing a team directly countering the composition of ZETA.
Definitely.
They know that they need to take map control. Like, you can't play a Rainer on this map and just sit back passively. It doesn't have any utility to deny them. So it has to be peaks, and they have had a bait and switch in both of the openers that we've witnessed here.
We're going to have a deep flash onto the site. If that hasn't caught anyone, but they've spotted exactly where Rada is, and being as they do it themselves over on KRU, they know that this is most likely a judge. They've dealt with him on the dash out. Plant is now secured. Everything is going according to plan.
I think if you hear a judge break that wall, you decide, you know what, I don't think I'm going to push that smoke anymore. I don't think it really has any value.
Oh, good night. Never mind. A little bit of a whiff from Delzik. Wasn't expecting him to be running away, I suppose.
Doesn't even have a skin.
They sure. Oh, that nade. Oh, that nade. 15 HP. I don't know how Makiba keeps on surviving these, man. He is tanking nade damage. Obviously doesn't want to save here. Rather get the money. Or potentially a weapon. Maybe even a kill. Hey, good try.
Yeah, they're going to be boosting up the ultimates a little bit here. Viper's Pit available for the next round, and not too far away from an orbital strike as well, which is, as mentioned, in terms of this map in particular, it's so impactful. The fact that you can clear out Hookah if you like, the back of the B site is another good one, and of course I think the classic is always lamps. It just makes some of these positions so much harder to hold as well. In particular on this map, I love seeing Brimstone play.
Oh, Delzik, a little spray onto Rada. I love it. It is 10-6. Double digits hit for KRU as they look to push on a little bit further. Look at what their opponents have to play with. ZETA coming in with a very mixed bag. They've got their saved over rifle, and outside of that, I mean, I expect to see Rada play for some early orbs, but in fact, I noticed they're just grouped up on mid. They're going to push this one with the pack mentality.
Yeah, Laz also saving a lot of credits here. Well, with over 3,000, you'd kind of expect him to at least buy something. So I wonder if maybe in the next round we're going to see the operator brought in. Okay, well, it started a little bit worrying, but ultimately Kesnit has shut this down. Now, Laz basically lives here, so if they don't expect him to be here, I'm going to be very disappointed.
Yeah, and he doesn't take the ult orb because obviously he expects to die. He's not going to pop it now. Hopefully, he can bait someone out into open combat is what he's thinking.
Yeah, he'll get his ult as well when he dies.
At the moment, they have no reason to really suspect that he's inside of Bath, but they know that they haven't cleared it. They're still so focused in towards the spawn. After a 4-man mid play on an eco, I'm wrong! No, Laz! Oh, okay. I was just really surprised that they didn't clear Bath, because why would they 4-man stack there and have a guy on B who didn't even flash out or anything? You know, like he's not doing anything on B, just sat down, tucked away. But I guess maybe they thought hookah with a shorty or something. Bit of a whiff by Laz, though. Yeah, that wasn't ideal.
Classic left clicks, you know. It happens.
Oh, yeah.
It happens.
Oh, yeah.
I'm forgiving.
It's fine.
We've all been there.
Considering you called him out for incredible aim and then he immediately whiffed an entire mag right afterwards, it's like, yeah, we probably shouldn't mention it anymore. Should probably leave that one alone.
11-6. KRU close to having their first victory on the board in Berlin. Oh, straight away, we're going to see a very aggressive start, but Takajay not quite gone to plan. He's going to go straight down, and already it seems his teammates might do the white. Did not check the corner, though. KRU is going to come up with 3, looking for the last kill. Player in front of him, just a classic in hand. This is an awkward battle, and Delzik, he got a kill after he was dead.
Sorry, when did that molly come in? Was that a molly at the start of the round from mid? It must have been, right? Because it would have landed way earlier otherwise. Either way, absolutely ludicrous.
Where did that come from?
Maybe it was out of hookah. We'll get a replay, I'm sure, at some point. We'll have to look at that one in reverse. An awkward classic fight of what we saw. RIOT has the Blade Storm activated. He's already popped it. Klaus is on the site and going to go in for this plant. Leaving it nice and open. He's... No, oh no, RIOT, the wall invaded. RIOT's on site, and it's an easy right click, easy kill, an easy round win. Great work by KRU up until the classic fight to get ZETA a 7th round. This was another perplexing situation, Tom. I found myself more confused in this game than I think I've ever been before, and that includes when I first started playing Valorant.
Fires the Molotov,
difficult.
Jumps down, he dies there, and then the other player runs through spawn and dies to the Molotov? Interesting. that was definitely a weird round, let's put it that way.
The utility in this game has not made a lot of sense at times. That's all that we need to know. Okay.
Don't worry, we got a moment. We got a moment to chill.
A moment to gather our breath, and I'm sure KRU will need the same. A little bit of a disappointing round, right? They amped it up nicely. They jump out to side him. One guy tucked in a corner that they don't clear. They're busy walling it off, going, hey, you can't come from elbow.
Yeah.
Problem was, and they were very adamant about clearing it before. We saw in this game, that corner has been consistently cleared out by like aftershocks, by flashes. But this time around, it's left unchecked, and it's the one time that someone sat there.
Yeah, it always seems to be the curse, but that is a round that's really going to pain them, because if anything, it's a lifeline. Like at that stage, you get that kill, it's almost an easy finish from then onwards for the side of KRU, and instead...
12-7, easy win, yeah.
Yeah, I think ZETA have almost taken a moment, because I think they've realized that, okay, this is the point. This is now where we have to turn things around. If they lose this round, again, their economy's going to be in the bin. They only saved with 1 player. Now, sure, they get to keep that operator through, and they have a lot of ultimates available to make sure that they confirm this round.
This is definitely going to be a challenge when it comes to Team ZETA. 4 in a row just to tie it up. And one slip up, and the map could just completely fall out of their hands. Oh, I guess, yeah, that was for anti-flash at the start of the round. Okay, I'm questioning everything about the game when I see utility thrown on the floor. Actually. Yeah, it is actually. It's quite nice because it doesn't even waste a smoke. Orbital strike thrown in. These guys are wasting absolutely no time. KRU orbital strike, slow on backside, and now they look to take the fight. You have a Cosmic Divide in play. This will allow them to push out to site, and nade that came through onto Laz. TP's underway. The same return by KRU, but hold on. RIOT is still here. He'll be spotted out though. Pushed out of position. Still hasn't destroyed the Seeker. As he moves to the... Still hasn't destroyed the Seeker. That was the flash he got that time. Now he's up... Oh, he's going in! This man hasn't got a dash, and he's running through walls! He got what... It's got his comeuppance, that's for sure. Taken down as KRU end up in a 2v2. KRU on low HP, but a Rolling Thunder is there, Tom. And with Takajay on the other side...
Again.
They're going to just dash out of there. That's the right call in this situation. Does Crow, does he 35 seconds? What's he going to get out of this with low HP? He's made the right call and not popping that.
He's going to use it to deny the plant. Just going to put it all the way through, but it doesn't even deny it, and he dies while he has it out. It's all gone wrong. It's up to Takajay to try and keep them in this round, and they won't be able to. Klaus is there to close it out. Crew get to 12, and Mitch, you don't look happy.
No, I mean, he didn't use the Rolling Thunder in the first place, and then he did at the worst possible moment, because you said, hey, he's going to use it to deny the plant. Nope. It was nowhere near in time to deny the plant, and it left him open to the elbow push. So that was what I would describe as a ludicrous situation that I've seen many times, round on round. These guys are playing a different brand of Valorant, that's for sure. I mean, look, me being from EU, I watch NA, I watch Korea, the rest we've been catching up on, but these guys are absolutely ludicrous in terms of how they look at the game. I would be really interested in seeing the clash of styles between any of the three regions I just mentioned and these guys.
But I think that's something that will be coming up, at least for one of these teams.
Indeed.
As Envy is already waiting in that upper bracket matchup. Laz trying to take this round into his own hand, or gathered to try and get him ever closer to Seekers. The fact is, though, the attackers are already looking to make the play. The stun comes through, but Klaus, he's having a game. He's having a solid performance here as he finds the opener once again, and Crow will play no part in this round.
Viper's pit online from Azino. If they get onto a site, the round is basically done. And with the man advantage that they already have and the weaponry disadvantage in play for ZETA, there's a lot to be desired here on the defensive side. In fact, Seekers are even going to be brought up here. Klaus popping them and confirming the location of these players. This is going to get very dangerous with Rada falling right away. In goes Takajay, but nothing to be found. This could be the end for the Japanese side of ZETA in the opening game. They could be going down to the lower bracket, and by the looks of it, Tom, they will. Makiba needs a 1 versus 5 clutch. Last time, he died to a Molotov. Let's hope this time around it ain't, but it's a bullet